German Federal Research Minister Anja Karliczek revealed an automotive Frankenstein creation, a Tesla Model Y, that had been converted into a hydrogen vehicle that she called a hyper-hybrid. The goal was to demonstrate the future of clean transportation. The decision to modify a Tesla, perhaps the most well-known electric vehicle out there, rather than a gas-burning car, is somewhat baffling. It's not clear whether Tesla was involved in the project to make a Model Y and make it run on synthetic methanol, which is reported to cost about $10 million. But the odds aren't great, given Elon Musk's distaste for hydrogen fuel cell technology. During a public spat last year with Trevor Milton, Musk referred to hydrogen fuel cells as fool cells and called the technology staggeringly dumb. The actual hyper-hybrid Tesla was meant to represent the concepts behind the hydrogen fuel, more so than to become a street-ready vehicle. The Carbon 2 Chem initiative, which aims to decarbonize the steel industry, designed the car to demonstrate new ways to save energy and recycle fuel. Anja Karliczek says that the company is building a very interesting bridge between these 2 points: the use of methanol from recycled CO2 from the industry as a fuel in road transport, but the methanol car itself is also an innovative showcase for low-emission, resource and energy-efficient mobility of tomorrow. A brief history of Elon Musk's festering feud with rival automaker Nikola. After it went public, stocks for the electric and hydrogen-powered car startup Nikola Motors soared enough to give it a valuation of over $20 billion, a princely sum that surpassed valuations of both Ford and Fiat Chrysler, two of America's oldest automakers. Nikola promises to revolutionize trucking in the US using hydrogen fuel cells, technology that turns potential energy from molecular bonds in hydrogen into electrical energy. But not everyone is buying that hydrogen is the future of long-haul transportation. After Nikola's great financial run, Tesla's outspoken Elon Musk tweeted that fuel cells equals fool cells on June 11th. And Musk and his fans took to mocking the concept of hydrogen fuel cells, with Musk deriding the tech as staggeringly dumb. It's worth pointing out that Musk isn't a neutral party. Tesla announced that its semi-truck is officially going into volume production earlier this month, less than a week after Nikola Motors went public. And, of course, he might feel defensive about another auto company naming itself after famed inventor Nikola Tesla. Nikola is also aiming for Musk's pet project at Tesla, the long-awaited Cybertruck, a stainless steel monstrosity intended to appease the pickup market. In February, Nikola unveiled the Badger, its take on the pickup truck, with an estimated 600-mile range thanks to a combination of hydrogen fuel cells and lithium-ion batteries. In an interview, Nikola CEO Trevor Milton responded to Musk's provocations, with a series of counterattacks couched in polite disinterest. Milton said in the interview that it was kind of a compliment, referring to the fact that Tesla announced it would ramp up production of its semi-truck the same week Nikola went public. "I mean, it's nice to know that we're affecting Elon's decisions," he added. "We have nothing against Tesla, but you can tell that we're scaring them because now he's dedicated all of Tesla's resources to the semi-truck project." To Milton, the idea of generating hydrogen to use as energy storage for a truck makes sense, since in trucking, weight is everything. How much a truck weighs empty determines how much freight it can move. Hydrogen is also much lighter, he continued. A hydrogen semi-truck can weigh up to 10,000 pounds lighter than a battery-pack electric truck. He also specifically dissed the Cybertruck, a move that seems calculated to raise Musk's ire further. "I grew up on a farm, and I've owned trucks my entire life," he told the newspaper. "I think Tesla's Cybertruck isn't built for real truck owners. They are built for Tesla fanatics." Even with its grand hydrogen fuel cell ambitions, Nikola had to resort to adding a lithium-ion battery to its hydrogen-powered pickup. But do hydrogen fuel cell-powered trucks, let alone cars, really stand a chance of becoming commonplace? For years, Tesla has been investing resources into building a supercharger network to enable Tesla owners to charge their cars on the go, and quickly, without having to wait hours at the gas station. When it comes to hydrogen cars, at least in the US, chargers are few and far between. According to a map by the US Department of Energy, there are only 47 hydrogen fueling stations in the US and Canada, with the vast majority in California. As expected, Nikola is planning to change that, with plans for 700 hydrogen stations across the US for semi-trucks, according to Milton. So, with so few available hydrogen chargers, consumer demand has been predictably slow. Only a handful of hydrogen fuel cell-powered vehicles are currently on sale in the US, and sales have been sluggish. With fuel cell cars sales dipping in 2019, the top seller, Toyota's Mirai, sold only 1,502 units that year. It's a catch-22. Without chargers, demand isn't going to increase much. Without demand, companies are less likely to invest in the technology and building out charger infrastructure. The range isn't the question. A 2020 Toyota Mirai can already drive over 300 miles on a full tank of hydrogen, according to official EPA ratings. It's somewhat reminiscent of the early days of the electric vehicle. In 2010, practically nobody was buying an electric vehicle in the US, according to government sales figures. Years later, dozens of models from a variety of international car makers are selling hundreds of thousands annually. The million or billion dollar question: will we see the same spectacular rise in sales of hydrogen-powered cars? Nikola is flipping Tesla's approach on its head by starting with long-haul trucking and then following up with consumer vehicles. To be honest with you, there's a lot of money to be made in selling trucks, whereas there are almost no money in selling cars, Milton added. That's why we love trucking. Trucking in the US is a massively important industry, generating over $700 billion in 2017 alone. Trucking accounts for 71% of all freight in the US, with truckers making up almost 6% of the entire full-time job market. In 2016, Nikola first unveiled its first futuristic hydrogen truck, the Nikola One, with the Nikola 2 and Tre following in 2019. The company has still yet to make a single dollar in revenue. That didn't stop the company from suing Tesla in 2018 for $2 billion. Its claim, Tesla's semi-truck, announced in 2017, looks too damn much like their own. Design patents were upheld in court back in April, with a lawsuit moving forward. Nikola's Tre, however, bears almost no design similarities with Tesla's Semi. But hydrogen power does have a significant Achilles heel, with its current tech riddled by inefficiencies. According to current studies, electric cars achieve efficiencies of anywhere between 70 and 90%, depending on the model and how much energy it takes for electricity to be transported before storage. In contrast, 45% of the energy is already lost during the production of hydrogen through electrolysis. Read a March 2020 press release by Volkswagen. Of this remaining 55% of the original energy, another 55% is lost when converting hydrogen into electricity within the vehicle. That would give hydrogen-powered cars an efficiency of only 25 to 35%. In concrete terms, this means that the hydrogen car consumes 2 or 3 times more electricity for the same distance than a battery car, the statement concluded. But we cannot afford this kind of energy waste. Yet Milton argues that hydrogen could still win. Everyone has inefficiency. Do you know how much inefficiency there is in the grid that burns natural gas or coal to power an electric car? Its weight and the cost per mile to move a vehicle that matter. Milton's dream is to make powering a hydrogen truck cheaper than a diesel or battery one. It's a tall order that will end up heavily depending on the renewable energy sector, as well as that's where Nikola wants its energy to come from, to generate hydrogen fuel. So what do you think about hydrogen cars? Let us know in the comments section below.